The gym is therapy for men who don't cry. Not because lifting weights replaces emotions, but because it gives structure to chaos. For many men, especially in a world that expects them to be unshakable pillars, emotions are a storm they're told to hide. Society doesn't say, "Don't feel," but it quietly whispers, "Don't show it." Crying becomes weakness. Vulnerability becomes embarrassment. And the gym becomes the one place where emotion can exist, just not in the way you'd expect. Here, pain isn't hidden, it's transformed. Every rep, every drop of sweat, every trembling breath under the weight of a barbell becomes an unspoken conversation with oneself. The gym is not a place of vanity for these men. It's not about flexing muscles under fluorescent lights. It's about survival. It's a ritual, a discipline, a sacred form of emotional regulation. When you walk into that space, headphones in, world tuned out, it's not just your body you're training, it's your mind learning how to stay calm under pressure, how to endure discomfort, how to stay consistent when everything else in life feels unstable. You see, discipline is a language men often speak when they don't have words for their pain. It's the hidden vocabulary of endurance. Many men grew up being told to man up, to be strong, to stop being dramatic. So they learned to bottle things up. But bottles eventually explode. Unless they have a valvant. For many, the gym is that valve. That 1 hour of sweat and strain isn't just about muscle, it's about release. It's about pushing back against feelings they can't explain, memories they can't fix, and emotions they can't name. There's something almost primal about it. The weights don't judge. The treadmill doesn't interrupt. The mirror doesn't pity you. In that moment, you face yourself. You face your reflection not to admire it, but to ask, "Can I keep going?" And when you do, when you push through one more rep, despite the pain, you teach yourself something deeper than strength. You teach yourself resilience. Discipline becomes therapy because it offers predictability in a chaotic world. You can't control heartbreak, loss, failure, or the world's unfairness. But you can control how many reps you do. You can control how often you show up. You can control your breathing under pressure. In that sense, the gym becomes a metaphor for life. Every lift mirrors a struggle. Every drop of sweat is a story of persistence. Over time, men who can't cry learn to express through action. The tension in their muscles replaces the tension in their chest. The soreness after a workout becomes proof that they're still capable of feeling, even if not in tears. Psychologically, discipline works as a coping mechanism. It transforms emotional pain into physical challenge. Neuroscience shows that physical exercise releases endorphins and serotonin, natural antidepressants that lighten mood and sharpen focus. But beyond biology, there's symbolism. In a society that discourages male vulnerability, discipline is how men reclaim control. When everything feels out of their hands, relationships work. Expectations, the structure of training, gives them something certain. The act of showing up day after day is like saying, "I may not have everything figured out, but I'm still here." That's why men often call the gym their sanctuary. It's not just because it's quiet or focused, it's because it's honest. There's no pretending there. The barbell doesn't care about your job title or your heartbreak. It just asks, "Can you lift me or not?" It demands presence, and in that presence, men find healing. For many, the gym also becomes a form of identity rebuilding. When life breaks you down, when love fails, when career stalls, when purpose fades, the gym becomes a forge. Every rep is a small act of defiance, a silent, "I'm not done yet." The transformation that happens in the mirror isn't just physical, it's existential. You start seeing a stronger version of yourself, one built from consistency, not comfort. That's the psychology of discipline. It replaces emotion with motion. Instead of crying, you grind. Instead of breaking, you build. It's not that emotions disappear, they're just redirected. The pain doesn't vanish. It evolves. You start understanding that suffering can be sculpted into strength. There's also a social dimension to this. Men often struggle to talk about emotions because of fear of judgment, fear of being misunderstood, fear of being seen as weak. But in the gym, vulnerability looks different. Struggling under a heavy weight is vulnerability in motion. Asking for a spotter is trust. Failing a lift and getting back up is courage. These are the same emotional lessons that therapy teaches: resilience, acceptance, trust, just delivered through iron and effort instead of words and couches. The gym gives men a language for healing that feels acceptable within masculine norms. They might not talk about their depression, but they'll chase personal records. They might not admit heartbreak, but they'll train harder than ever. It's not always healthy, but it's the form of therapy that society allowed them to have. You stop thinking of the gym as something you do. It becomes who you are. That consistency, that repetition, that structure it. You start eating better, sleeping better, thinking better. You realize discipline isn't punishment, it's freedom. It's the key to unlocking emotional control. Because discipline teaches one crucial lesson: feelings are not commands. You can feel tired, sad, angry, but still show up, still move forward, still act. That mindset doesn't just build muscles, it builds character. It teaches you to navigate life without needing to numb yourself or explode. You learn to hold pain, to coexist with it, to process it through motion. But there's a deeper truth here. The gym may be therapy for men who don't cry, but maybe it's also a lesson that they should. Maybe, beneath all that strength, there's still a boy who never learned how to say, "I'm hurting." The iron helps, but it's not enough. The discipline that saves men can also isolate them if it becomes their only language. Real strength, perhaps, lies not only in enduring pain, but also in expressing it. Yet, until the world allows men to do that freely, the gym will remain their church. The clang of metal plates will be their hymns. The quiet drive home after a late-night session will be their reflection. And the soreness in their body will be the proof that they fought their demons again and won. At least for today. This is why you'll often find men alone in the gym long after closing hours. Not because they're obsessed, but because that's where they finally feel something they can control. That's where they can let go without breaking down. It's a therapy session without words. A confession without an audience. Each rep is a prayer, each drop of sweat an apology to the self they once abandoned. It's a slow healing, but a real one. The discipline they practice isn't cold, it's deeply emotional. It's how they love themselves when they don't know how. It's how they cope when nothing else makes sense. So, when you see a man quietly grinding in the gym, headphones on, eyes distant, understand it's not just about aesthetics or ego. It's about peace. It's about taking pain that could destroy him and turning it into progress. It's about finding a way to feel alive without falling apart. In that repetition, in that rhythm, he finds order. In that order, he finds meaning. And in that meaning, he finds himself again. The gym isn't therapy because it fixes pain. It's therapy because it gives pain a purpose. It's not about escaping emotion. It's about confronting it in a language he understands: silence, effort, and growth. And maybe that's the lesson for everyone, not just men. That healing doesn't always look like tears. Sometimes it looks like sweat. Sometimes it sounds like deep breaths between sets. Sometimes it's discipline, not emotion, that saves us. Because discipline is love in disguise. Love for yourself, your future, your sanity. And when men can't cry, they lift. They lift the weight of their world, one rep at a time, until one day they realize they were never just building their bodies. They were rebuilding their souls.